Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of Yanks from 1979. So this is a World War II drama which stars Richard Gere, Vanessa Redgrave, and William Devane. So I just finished this up a couple hours ago, and I am watching the Studio Selections release. I watched a few on the channel, Kiss Before Dying and Paradise Alley, and Splitting Hairs. So I've seen 4 from this label, though. Now, this label is interesting. Before I talk about the movie, I want to talk about the Studio Selections label. Now, Studio Selections label is just a bare bones DVD with no menus. So once the movie ends, it goes right back to the beginning. Kind of like those old Warner Brothers DVDs from the heyday. So yeah, that's what this label's about. Let's talk about Yanks, because oh boy was this bad. This was just an awful watch from start to finish. So the movie centers around Richard Gere. He plays a man named Max. He's in World War II. This is set in early 1942 up to 1944. So it's during that war. And also the reason I chose this movie was today is Memorial Day. So for Memorial Day, that's why I chose Yanks. And I got another World War II movie coming up tomorrow, so you'll see that one. But I decided to do Yanks, and as I said before, this movie is just bad. This movie was directed by John Schlesinger. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. He's the guy who directed the first X-rated Oscar-winning film, Midnight Cowboy. So I thought, okay, I like this director. He also made Falcon and the Snowman. So in terms of this is basically just it's a melodrama. It's a World War II melodrama. So as I said before, it's focused on Max. He's a soldier who he is a draftee. He explains it that I didn't choose to go to this war. I was drafted. And he's actually from Tucson, Arizona. So that's in the movie. He meets up with this, sorry for the scratching, guys, but he meets up with this woman, Helen, who I guess she works for the Red Cross. It also deals with the Red Cross. William Devane plays his staff sergeant, his head sergeant, but most of the time they don't even interact. They only interact once in the movie. This is actually supposedly, from what I read, this was one of Richard Gere's earlier movies. This was I think this was his second movie as the lead, I think. So yeah, I do not like Yanks. And it actually features some stars that will go on to be well known. John Ratzenberg plays a cook there. Everett McGill, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. He was in People Under the Stairs. He plays a sergeant at one of the sergeants that he comes up to a black man and tells him, you should not be dancing. And then he grabs a girl and he starts dancing. And they start a fight, and Gere tries to intervene but doesn't. Also, he has a relationship with her folks, so there are some moments. I'm trying to just think of what else. Here are the problems I have with Yanks. One, it focused basically, it's a melodrama. 2, there's not much wartime in a movie that should be about World War II. I didn't really know much, and I'm thinking the third one, I blanket on what I said. I was watching the movie and I thought there were 3 things I don't like, but I think I'm finding 2 things I don't like. The ending is just, the ending is really bad. I mean, really, this movie should at least had some war in it. Look, I like a war film if it has what it's focused about, World War II, and this movie doesn't. And that's the big problem I have with Yanks. First off, you got a movie that, like Saving Private Ryan, which was about World War II, but that was about the soldiers and the war. If we can go back to all the Vietnam War films, or even the Forgotten War, Korea. War, I said, guys, war is not fun. War is never fun, guys, and I'm going to tell you that right now. but a movie that should be about World War II should be about World War II. Also, Devane has a relationship with another woman, and it's so out of place. But there are a few positives I want to talk about. I actually think William Devane is good in this. It's a really good role, but most of the time, the cast doesn't know what they're doing. Half the time, they don't know what they're trying to do. Gere, like I said, he's trying to make things good. Like the nightclub scene where they're celebrating New Year's. He wanted to intervene that bad, but his girlfriend or girl he met, sorry about that, guys. The girl he met said, "Why did you not intervene?" He's like, "I couldn't." And there's a scene, I'm not going to say what the guy said, something about this dude and lady. It's like, "Come on, dude, let's dance." And he beats the guy up, and then the other soldiers get the guy. And I was like, oh, they're going to kill him. They're going to kill him. So they drop him, they were going to drop him down to insta-kill the guy until the military police, until the military police came right in to stop the fight. Then Devane finds out what's going on, and it says, "What you guys did was extremely wrong. Don't let that happen again. Dismiss." Sir, I was drunk. So, and another scene though, Gere says to a guy, I'm going for the few moments before I continue with the bads. There's a scene where he talks to the guy, he calls him a Yank, but he explains to the guy, "I didn't want to go. I was a draftee. I had no other choice." Yeah, this is during the time where you could volunteer or you're a draftee. I think they stopped that after Vietnam, where people got drafted. And if you get drafted, you have to go fight in combat. If you get drafted, you have to go fight in combat. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is just a very bad World War II film. And for a World War II film, that's really such a shame. I want to talk about that ending because the ending makes no sense. I thought we were going to go into war. It showed the soldiers in training, but they didn't show them go into war. Now, I said before, with a war film, like a World War II movie, Korean War film, or even Vietnam. Take, for example, Full Metal Jacket, the Stanley Kubrick classic, or Kubrick, however you want to pronounce his last name. That was focused on boot camp, but then eventually you got to the war, and then you get to them interviewing the soldiers. Yanks, I was hoping was going to be like that movie, but what I got instead was a piss poor attempt to do a melodrama. Aside from Devane, who's really good, and I felt for his character more than Richard Gere, than any of the other casts. None of them knows what they're trying to do. And at the end of the day, Yanks is just another example of an awful World War II film. There are some good moments, but that's few far between. This is one of the worst movies I watched this year. It is terrible. I mean, if you want to watch Richard Gere in a war film, go watch Officer and a Gentleman. That's a war film that he does. Richard Gere and half the other cast do not know. Also, I want to talk about the location. That's another thing. The location of this is great. Like, it was filmed entirely in Yorkshire. This movie is set in, I believe, is it? Britain. Yeah, Britain. I'm just trying to think. GI's Britain during World War II. Yeah, so it's set in Britain, which is in England, I do believe, or Yorkshire. So the locations and whatnot are great. But most of the time, it's just a piss poor attempt to make a World War II film. This feels like a play version of From Here to Eternity. I've never seen that movie, but I can tell you that's probably a lot better. There are many other war films I could be watching. There are a ton of World War II movies I could be watching. Other than this. Another movie I have in my collection, which is Biloxi Blues, which was also about a war. that was a million times better, and I haven't seen it in years. Maybe I'll cover that for the channel, maybe next Memorial Day. But in terms of this is just another bad, piss-poor attempt to make a World War II film. I'm probably missing a few things in it though, but you know, I could care less. This movie just, it's super boring. This movie is also super long. A 2 hour, 19-minute movie. It feels super long, and it drags away. So that's, yeah. Guys, I'm telling you right now, avoid Yanks. It really, really, really could have been good. But again, we got a piss-poor melodrama that tries to be a war film, a World War II movie, or war film, whatever. So I'm going to kind of, before this goes off the cuff, before I even get more mad at this, it's going on the worst list, and I'm going to give Yanks, you probably know what this is going to be, and this may shock you, a 2 out of 5. It's just bad. It's really such a shame. When an actor like Richard Gere, who can do better, William Devane, who I haven't watched much of his movies, can do better, Vanessa Redgrave, who can do a lot better, it doesn't, folks. There is one scene where they mention the guy was killed in action, but that's really about it. We get none of that in the movie. We get no battles. We just get a From Here to Eternity for the 70s. And for 1979, that is just sad. So, yeah, just please, guys, don't watch Yanks. It's not very good. I'm only going to keep this because it is a Sue Selections release, and that's about it. But if it wasn't, it would probably be going bye-bye. But that's my review of Yanks. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss out on a video or review on my channel. Head over to Letterboxd, guys. I got a ton of I rate the movies, and then I go ahead and upload before I go ahead and make the video and upload it to the channel. You might see this review Memorial Day, you might see it tomorrow. Who knows, whatever I get finished with this video. So, whenever I get finished filming, editing, and all that good stuff. So, like I said again, guys, do not watch Yanks. You're better off watching a different war film. So, yeah. And that's it. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.